I, Gabriela Vidal, affirm that this evidence is of my own authorship. I have not appealed to plagiarism in any of its forms, and I establish that in preparing and developing this activity, I have followed the guidelines of the Tecnológico de Monterrey Code of Ethics. Nowadays, we constantly see big companies talking about how they care for the planet or how they're taking action against climate change. But sometimes what they say and what they actually do are very different, and that's what we know as greenwashing. For this project, I decided to analyze HSBC's campaign called Net Zero by 2050, where the bank promotes its commitment to a sustainable future and helping its clients to reduce their carbon emissions. I think that this topic is really relevant because these kind of campaigns shape how people see environmental efforts. They can make us believe that companies are solving the problem even when their actions may still contribute to pollution or climate damage. Understanding how corporations communicate about sustainability helps us think more critically, question what we see, and motivate real and responsible actions that truly support the Sustainable Development Goals. The Net Zero by 2050 campaign from HSBC was created to show the bank's supposed commitment to sustainability and climate action. In the campaign, HSBC presents itself as a company that's helping both clients and communities to move toward a low-carbon economy, promising to reach net zero emissions by the year of 2050. They talk about financing renewable energy projects, offering green bonds, and supporting sustainable businesses. They even encourage their clients to lower their carbon footprint through the bank's investment options and financial advice. The campaign mainly targets people who care about the environment, like young professionals, investors, and companies that want to appear more sustainable. It's shared everywhere, through digital ads, social media, TV commercials, and even on HSBC's sustainability webpage. The visuals are very emotional. Happy families, clean landscapes, winter beans, and solar panels. Everything is designed to create a sense of hope and responsibility, as if HSBC were leading the way toward a cleaner future. But there is a big contradiction behind this message. Even while promoting renewable energy, HSBC still invests in fossil fuel projects all around the world. This gap between what they say and what they actually do is what raises doubts about the campaign's authenticity. And this is exactly why it's such an interesting case to analyze in terms of greenwashing, discourse, and ethical communication. At first, HSBC's Net Zero by 2050 campaign looks really convincing. But when you look a little deeper, things don't completely add up. Several reports from sources like BankTrack, The Guardian, and Carbon Tracker reveal that HSBC still invests billions of dollars in fossil fuel projects, including oil, gas, and coal. So, even though their ads make them look like environmental leaders, the truth is that the campaign creates more of an illusion of responsibility rather than a real change. This is a clear example of greenwashing, when companies use eco-friendly words and image to build a positive reputation, but continue with the same harmful practices that cause climate change. The campaign also shows signs of false action and slacktivism. It gives people the idea that just by banking with HSBC or supporting their green products, they're helping the planet, when in reality, the company's carbon emissions are still rising. From the point of view of the Sustainable Development Goals, HSBC say it supports Goal 13, climate action, but its continued financing of fossil fuels goes completely against that goal and reduces the real impact their initiatives could have. In the end, this campaign replaces real transformation with emotional marketing. It makes people feel like change is happening, while the real, structural changes that could fight climate change are delayed. HSBC's Net Zero by 2050 campaign uses a very sophisticated kind of language, one that we call an eco-modernist discourse. It focuses on ideas like technology, progress, and collective action. They use phrases such as "together we can achieve net zero" or "building a sustainable future for everyone." These messages appeal to our emotions. They make us feel hopeful and united, as if we're all part of the same mission. But behind that positive tone, there's also an ideological intention. The campaign spreads the responsibility equally between people, companies, and governments, even though HSBC itself plays a much bigger role in financing fossil fuel industries. The campaign also tries to build credibility or ethos by presenting HSBC as a responsible and trustworthy institution. However, the logic or logos behind their argument is pretty weak. They seem to suggest that just by funding a few renewable projects or giving their clients a green advice, they are creating a big impact on climate change. This is a false cost fallacy, because those small actions won't actually balance out the much larger environmental damage caused by their fossil fuel investment. There's also an appeal to nature fallacy, the idea that anything labeled as green or shown with plants and sunlight is automatically good, even when the company's larger activities contradict those values. Overall, the campaign uses persuasive language to shape public perception and delay accountability. When we look closely, we can see how communication becomes a tool of power, helping corporations to maintain a positive image while avoiding their real environmental responsibility. After HSBC launched its campaign, the reactions on social media were pretty mixed. Some people actually praised the bank, saying that it was great to see big financial institutions taking action on climate change. They shared positive comments about green initiatives and expressed hope that the banking sector could really make a difference. But at the same time, a lot of environmental groups and activists strongly criticized the campaign. Reports from the Bank Draft and The Guardian pointed out that HSBC still finances billions of dollars in fossil fuel projects, which completely contradict its supposed net zero commitment. Hashtags like HSBC greenwashing and Stop HSBC started trending, and many users shared memes and comments calling out the company's hypocrisy. However, even though there was a lot of attention online, most of it ended up being what we call slacktivism. People liking, sharing, or commenting, but not really taking deeper or concrete actions. And while that kind of engagement helps to raise awareness, it doesn't necessarily lead to real changes in how companies behave or in reducing emissions. This case shows that digital activism can be powerful, but it can also make people feel like they've done their part just by posting about it. In the end, HSBC benefits from that visibility and social engagement, while still avoiding true accountability for its fossil fuels investment. Reflecting on this, it's clear that both corporations and citizens have responsibilities. Companies need to be honest and transparent in their communication, and as citizens, we should look deeper, question what we see, and take meaningful actions beyond social media. After analyzing HSBC Net Zero by 2050 campaign, it's clear that real environment communication has to go beyond nice images and marketing slogans. If I were to redesign this campaign, I will focus on three key principles: transparency, accountability, and measurable impact. First, transparency. HSBC should openly report how much carbon it actually finances, not just in renewable projects, but also in fossil fuels. Real numbers, verified by independent organizations, will help to build trust and show genuine progress instead of vague promises. Second, accountability. The bank needs to take clear responsibility for its own role in global emissions, instead of spreading the blame across society. It should position itself as a true leader, financing projects that have a positive impact on the climate. And third, measurable impact. The campaign should give people real ways to participate, like supporting local renewable energy projects, helping with community reforestation, or joining transparent sustainability investment programs. My proposal to the new campaign will be HSBC Real Net Zero, one that focuses on real data, community collaboration, and honest reporting. This approach will connect with people in three powerful ways. Through ethos, by showing credibility and honesty. Through logos, by presenting clear results and solid reasoning. And through pathos, by inspiring genuine hope and participation without manipulation. By focusing on honesty and collaboration, HSBC could transform its communication from just a marketing strategy into a real tool for climate action. Analyzing HSBC Net Zero by 2015 campaign has really shown me how powerful corporate communication can be, and how easily it can mislead people when it focuses more on image than on impact. The persuasive language, emotional visuals, and messages of shared responsibility remind us that communication is never neutral. It can shape public opinion, delay accountability, and create the illusion of progress, even when real change is missing. In a world full of competing messages, ethical communication means asking critical questions. What is being said? Why is it being said? And who benefits from it? Greenwashing isn't just a marketing tactic. It is a symptom of a bigger issue, the gap between sustainability as a value and sustainability as a real practice. I believe that communication can be a bridge, one that connects truth, awareness, and action. As future leaders, we have the responsibility to use our voices to promote transparency, empathy, and collaboration. Because only when our words truly match our actions, we can create real progress, not as slogans, but as a shared commitment to a better future. So first, three things that I didn't know and now I am aware of. It's that first, I didn't realize how common greenwashing actually is and how many companies use sustainability just as a marketing tool. Second, I learned that even the language and the images can be used to manipulate the perception of the people, not just the data. And third, I became aware of how powerful communication is in influencing what society believes about environmental responsibility. Number two, it's two things that I want to learn more about. First, I like to go deeper in how organizations measure the real environmental impact, not just what they promote. And also, I want to learn how ethical communication strategies can inspire real behavioral change in both companies and people. And third, one thing that I'll change in my life definitely after this project, I will be more critical and responsible as a consumer and as a communicator. I want to support transparency and question environmental claims before believing in them. And I definitely think that that's how we can start promoting real and honest change.